This is Rock and Roll Grad School with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling. Get your grad school for nothing and your podcast for free. I want Luke and Heidi.
Hello, kiddies. We're going to have a good time together. We are talking Swedish metal, which I feel like is there any other types of metal?
I don't know. I mean, good metal should be Swedish.
Good metal, yeah, exactly. We're talking with H.E.A.T about their new album and their new old lead singer, because their old new lead singer is now the lead singer of Skid Row.
Yes.
There's a whole chart I think one needs to draw. And I did not completely get it when we were talking with him. And I think he was like, "What's wrong with you, boy?" More so than usual,
right.
Our guests are. But speaking of metal, I think this counts.
Yes.
You have a flag situation?
We do. I'm very excited about it.
It's at half staff?
No, it's at full staff, but the wind wasn't hitting it properly to where it would unfurl for me to photograph it for you. But in my complex, there is still a lot of new construction.
Oh, you got a complex. You sure do.
I do. I have many complexes.
Yeah.
And there is one particular building that unfortunately had a fire that they are rebuilding from scratch. But I'm assuming the construction team has put up a flagpole attached to the pile of lumber that is rebuilding this place. A full flagpole with a full flag.
Yes.
With the VH Van Halen logo.
That's amazing.
Why? I don't know. They were not running with the devil or playing Panama or playing.
Were they even hot for teacher, would you say? Could you tell from your apartment?
No, I was walking the dog. I was right in front of it.
Oh. And you weren't able to figure out who was hot for teacher?
No, I couldn't see them. They were further away. But the flag is there, and I hope it stays there. And I will capture a photo of it. Because
that would be great, yeah.
I don't know. It makes me feel like having the right, colors flown at my castle.
Right. It's interesting. I just this weekend saw there was a DJ somewhere in Texas, and there's an auction of his estate. And anyone who came into this radio station, he got them to sign multiple things. So it's a lot of guitars and T-shirts and posters signed by various bands. And one of the things he had from his sort of collection of promotions, and this connects, he didn't have the actual cake itself, but he had the lid for the pound cake that Warner Brothers sent him to promote for unlawful carnal knowledge.
Wow.
Like Van Halen themed pound cake.
That's an amazing piece of swag.
I know. Yeah. All right. Well, we've covered a lot of stuff here, I feel like, right?
Yeah, a lot of important things, for sure. Do you want to hear about the show last night?
Oh, yes. I completely forgot. Yes.
It was amazing.
Okay.
I mean, Axe, as you saw, was unreal.
Weren't they great?
They're so cool. They're the coolest people ever. I just kept looking at my friend Mark going, why aren't we this cool? We need to be this cool.
And just Exene didn't really do much, but was so... Did she have like a skirt on and her boots?
And like a jacket, or she had a dress on and a jacket that matched, that had like roses and the X logo on it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And she's just adorable. And she was wailing. And John's just the coolest human ever. And they were just fantastic. And we were at the same place we saw Sparks, and we ended up kind of in the same spot, only right in front of John. My friend Mark and I were there, and then Dave and his nephew, because Dave was having one of his complexes about tall people in front of him, not remembering that people shift and move in these kinds of settings.
And they do, yes.
That will change. So they ended up moving over, so they were further away. And we were just rocking out, and he was just laughing because he was like, you guys are just mad. But we were dripping with sweat afterwards. And then, so for Psych Furs, Mark and I decided to stay on the raised level, one level up. And Dave and his nephew decided to go back down. Well, after talking to Dave later, I guess the sound was great. Just from that little difference.
Yeah.
But because it's only 4 steps up to the next
Oh,
level.
so it's not even a balcony.
No, I mean, there is a balcony further back, but the sound was so horrible.
Hmm.
The mix was so off for us that, he's like doing all this crazy stuff in his sequin jacket, and it
Mm-hmm.
just felt ridiculous because you couldn't hear his vocal.
Mm.
And then they played all these deep cuts. Like, they didn't pull out any crowd favorite till about 40 minutes in.
Okay.
So
I guess I thought I Just Want to Sleep with You would count as a fan favorite. But maybe it was just the excitement around. Did they play that as their opener?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because I've
I don't remember
noticed,
what they played as their opener.
I was looking at set lists before I went, and it looked like they were playing kind of the same thing every night. X was much more like, we're going to play these songs, but they're going to be in a different order every night.
So X didn't play either song that has a tie to Detroit, by the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But you got,
No Johnny Hit and Run, no New World,
right, wow.
neither of them.
Okay,
Which
now
is
I feel
weird. Like,
very blessed.
how how do you not how do you forget about the Motor City, right?
Right.
But I
No,
didn't
this
care.
is the same.
Is it the same?
Yeah,
Well,
same.
okay, that's proof and point of how bad the sound was.
Yeah.
So they played a ton of like kind of newer stuff too. Like, it just,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got Ghost in You,
Yeah.
and then it was a little while longer, and we got Pretty in Pink. And Mark and I ended up leaving and going to a bar around the corner. That's how much we couldn't like hear or take it, because X was so good
Right.
that it became a buzzkill.
Mm.
Dave and his cousin both said that from where they were, it was better. So I don't know. So I'm going to blame it on the sound guy, but
Well, it's interesting because it sounds like it was a much more lively show, which I feel like problems, at least with this casino that I saw them at, there are seats. You are sitting down, and they're cozy, and there's a lot of Chablis being passed around. And so I don't know how much of it was sort of the high rollers, because there were certainly people in their super old and ratty X shirts with the cat on it and stuff. But there was also a lot of guys who seemed to be humoring the misses a little bit.
yeah.
And maybe that's just the Butler brothers for you in general. But
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a slow dance central when Ghost and You came on, and people were like making out, and we were standing kind of further back. I'm like, this feels like prom, and I'm still on the wall. No one wants to dance with me, but it's fine. But yeah, I didn't stay for Heartbreak Beat. I didn't stay for Heaven, which is my favorite.
I thought you were going to say, because certainly Richard Butler's voice has seen better decades.
Of course, yes.
But there was something about it that kind of fit with what he was doing. And I couldn't tell if the jacket was ironic.
I don't know. That was a bit hard to tell too.
But he only left it on for like 2 songs when I saw them.
He left it on.
Oh, it was
Maybe
also
took it
weird.
off later, but he had it on for a while.
He also was wearing these pants that were very wide and seemed to be too big for him. So it felt like every song he turned around, went in front of the drum riser, and was like trying to get his pants back to the position he cared for.
Fascinating. Well, the sax player was
That dude
great.
he was all over the place.
Yeah. He was like keeping it together. But then he had this like, he looked like Laddie from Lost Boys to me, if Paul Simon played Laddie in Lost Boys. So I kept thinking about that because of his jacket.
Right.
But he was like totally holding down the fort for them.
Yeah. Their drummer I thought was super loud.
Yeah.
I felt like I was hearing snares and cymbals outside of the PA. Like it was just that loud everywhere. And it was lovely, but
Yeah.
it was fun. But the way you said it, I was like, oh no,
No, it was
did
just
I misread this? Was I too
No, I
not
think,
expecting much? So I was sort of like, yeah, it was fun. It was great.
well, no, that's what Dave felt too. So I don't know if it was, again, just where we were standing,
Right.
or if we were so drunk on like X, because we were very drunk on X and the band, not anything else.
Right.
But that we just, no one was going to live up to them, or
Right.
if it was where we were standing. But I did feel like the people around us kind of weren't as into it either. So I don't know, maybe Dave just found the sweet spot, or he is just such a fan that they could do no wrong. So
Right.
still a great bill, still very reasonably priced tickets, still
Yeah.
worth going to.
But just not
Even
the
if
full
it's just
blown.
to try to be as cool as John and I sing.
Yeah. Where are you now? Are you in Sweden?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
In my house in Sweden.
perfect. What time is it there? You've got to be. I'm trying to think. It's further. You're obviously over from England, so it's like what, 8 or 9, probably.
It's 7, so
7.
close.
Oh, okay. I was too tight. Congratulations on the new record.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
What I've heard of it is wonderful. And I was wondering about the kind of, I guess it was the first single that you guys put out. I'm just pulling out the name here so I don't mess
It's
it up.
probably nationwide.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I was wondering about Nationwide. It seems like it's a whole new realm for the band. You've got a new lead singer. You've got new music after some time of just hunkering down like everyone else. Did you guys approach this record as sort of a way to reintroduce yourself to fans? Or did you just want to rock everyone's faces off?
I don't. We didn't really make like a strategic decision or something. It's just when Kenny comes into the mix with his talent and his songwriting, it's just he's not just a singer, so he's very musically talented, so he plays almost all the instruments, and he's all over the place when we write songs and record songs. So I think that's the most important factor that affect the sound on the new album. Us being us, the way we are, the constellation the lineup we have now, kind of. And Kenny is probably a bit more. This is really hard, but maybe soulier, bluesier. I don't know, than Eric was. His voice. So
with when in the process did you realize kind of Kenny was the guy? When all of you were just like, oh, this is it. Did you guys jam? How did you kind of decide on him?
Well, we actually, because we hadn't really talked to Kenny or heard him sing for a couple of years, for a bunch of years actually. So we asked him first if he would like to do a test session where he recorded his vocals on a H.E.A.T track, and this sounded great. I don't know what we expected, but we were like, it's been so many years. Can he still sing? But boy, could he sing.
And did you guys write everything together? What was that process like?
Well, there's also, you have his voice have to fit, and he has to be able to do long tours and sing, do awesome rock vocals on the albums, of course. But then you have the factor that he's an old friend. We grew up together. We kind of, we started this band together. He was the original singer, and we kind of discovered rock together. So we just pretty quickly just realized, everybody, that there is no other singer for H.E.A.T than Kenny. He's made for this job, which is funny because he quit the band in 2010, but but for many years now, it's been his highest wish, all categories, to join H.E.A.T again, to be the frontman of H.E.A.T again. So he had been preparing for that for years, physically, mentally, everything.
So he was raring to go when he walked through the door.
Oh yes.
As a drummer, how does that change what you're trying to do? Is his voice and just his songwriting kind of prowess compared to what Eric was doing? How does that change what you're doing and what you're seeing from the kid?
Well, it's hard. It's a tricky question. I think that he's maybe a bit more playful when it comes to singing, and he improvises a bit more. And then and now, especially like in the beginning, I have his vocals quite high in the mix. So because I think it's fun to hear him sing and discover his voice again. But when he does, sometimes when he does things, I just get a big smile on my face because I hear that he's trying on, because we play a lot of the old songs, so to say, as well live, and he kind of he discovers them. He finds his way, and he does some kind of crazy wails here and there, and it's really fun to hear that when we rehearse and play live. But other than the vocals, I would say that as I said, Kenny plays most instruments, and he plays drums like really good.
So if you don't work out, there's another guy there to take over.
Yeah. Every time I leave the kit, he is there playing. So, but what I wanted to say is that during the songwriting process and the recording process of the new album, he has analyzed all the drums for all the songs, and he comes to me and he's like, "Crash, so I have this idea for Phil, and I have this idea on that song and this idea of that song, and can I just show you something, because I have this idea on this song." So he was like that. He's showing me a lot of drum stuff, and I'm like, I just feel that's exciting. That's fun, because it's been I wouldn't say that it's lonely being the only drummer, but I have a drummer buddy now, kind of, and we write the drums together. And I just think it's wonderful with a lot of feedback from another talented drummer.
That's really cool. I didn't even think about that. The loneliness of having someone able to speak that language of the rhythm.
Because no one of the other guys give a damn. They're like,
right,
yeah, do your thing, Crash.
Well, but like guitarists and bassists, there's like they know that world. They know that lingo. They can do that. But you're kind of out on this island, quite literally, by yourself, and just do whatever you want.
Yeah, it makes me think of that joke. What do you call people hanging around musicians?
Right. A drummer, yeah. There's another one I just heard that I really liked. I think it was, what do you call a drummer who has broken up with his girlfriend? Homeless? But anyway.
Yeah, there's loads more.
Yeah, completely. So with sort of the original lineup reconstituted in a way, are you guys looking at those older songs, those kind of like We Have to Play songs, and seeing what else you can play for fans, kind of digging deeper into the catalog to pull out some stuff maybe you haven't done in a while?
Yeah, sure. But first of all, we play a lot from H.E.A.T 2, which was Eric's last album, because we never really got to play that album live. So we've been trying to give the fans a chance to hear those songs live as well. But with Kenneback, we play Straight for Your Heart. It was the first single on the first album back in 2008.
Wow.
So that's a song that we've been playing, and it's been working really good live. Surprisingly good. Apparently people still listen to the first album because it works good live. And of course, we play 1,000 Miles as well. That's it's still our biggest hit. And we did that song with Kenny. I think it has 10 million plays on Spotify just this week.
Just the week? Wow. That's
No. This week it hit 10 million plays.
Wow, that's amazing.
Not each week.
Yeah.
Be something.
Yeah, you wouldn't be talking to me if it was 10 million a week.
Don't say that.
Well, just
seems like a nice guy.
So, how did you keep busy during lockdown? Were you playing a lot? Were you just trying to go do anything else and take a break from music?
I think we all started with, we didn't really say anything, but nothing was happening. So we kind of just did stuff outside the music, because we've been touring for so many years and it's nonstop. So now it's like, hey, I can go on a vacation. I can do this. I can redecorate my house, or we did all sorts of stuff. That's what I did. Redecorated my house. So.
Did it help you guys in making the new record, just having that time off from each other and that time off from the road?
Well, of course, yes and no, because we kind of had some time apart, and then usually we live on top of each other. So it was longer process than usual to find each other and start creating music again. But when we did that and we came up to speed, we wrote the whole song during the pandemic. The whole album during the pandemic, and without the distractions, so to say, of live shows. Because sometimes I'd say, there was probably a positive thing to be able to focus only on the songwriting and the recording process, to give that more time, and letting that process be more relaxed in a way, because you don't have a deadline because you have another tour coming up or whatever.
Yeah. Did you miss the road? Do you like the road in general? Or do you like the time off from the road? Well,
we love playing live, but we've become a bit more comfortable during the years, I think. But it's still super fun being on the road. I mean, meeting the fans and playing live, that's always awesome. There's nothing beats that, but it's just all those, but that's only like 5-10% of being on the road,
Yep.
So all the other traveling, that's not always super fun, but we travel more and more comfortable because we've been lucky enough to have, during the years since we started, bigger and bigger shows, and so we can still enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Well, a friend of ours said when he's traveling and when he's touring, they pay him for the 22 hours between gigs. It's the 2 hours on stage that's the freebie.
Yeah.
You're doing that for free, and everything else is the hassle.
Yeah, it's like that. So, I wonder when they're gonna invent teleporters.
It would be nice, yeah. Your drums are gonna change up. You don't have to reset them every night. It's so that's wonderful. Are you guys coming to the U.S. right now? You're kind of this summer. You're going to be all around Europe.
Well, actually, we don't have a lot of gigs during the summer, but we're releasing a new album. The first one with Kenny in over a decade. In the 5th of August is the new album out.
Right.
Force Majeure is the name of it, and then we're gonna have a lot of shows. So right now we're mostly doing promo. We've done 3 music videos, and and stuff like that. It's almost like we're waiting for the release, but we have some exciting gigs during the summer. But yeah, no, not in the US. We did play in the US in February this year on Monsters of Rock cruise.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And that's amazing. That was the second time we played there. Is this big cruise ship that departs from Miami, goes down to the Caribbean Sea for 5 days and then back. It was us and Alice Cooper and Winger and Eclipse, and yeah, it was like 45 bands, I think.
Did you enjoy that? I mean, it seems like you must have gotten a chance to see other bands play, which is not always the case for musicians.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. And also we got time to meet the other musicians and the other bands and party with them mostly. So that's also fun because we're always on tour, but not together. So
Right.
That was fun to meet other bands.
Have you heard anything from the fans about the singles? I'm assuming you have, and the sort of anticipation for this record and this new stage of H.E.A.T.
The response has been very positive. I think people have a hard time deciding on which single is the best one. We released Nationwide in the beginning of the year, and then Back to the Rhythm with a super cool 3D video. And then just a couple of days ago, what was it? This Friday, we released our third single called Hollywood, also with a 3D video to it, where we recorded in a green screen studio, but it had like hundreds of tracking sensors measuring the position of us, and then it was filmed, and we were it was 3D in real time.
Wow. Do you have to wear those suits with all the little balls on them, or are they
No,
past
actually
that?
not, because there are sensors all around the studio, so we're like being sensed wherever we are.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be anticipation, waiting for folks to hear the record, waiting for the feedback, just waiting to share this thing that you guys worked so hard on to finally get it out. You guys, you're obviously, I'm assuming, counting down to August 5th.
Yep. That's mostly what we're doing right now. But yeah, we do have some shows and a lot of promo. Like,
Yeah, but this isn't the fun stuff. This isn't getting to play and getting to go out and, really do it.
oh, it's all right. Having a nice chat with you here.
Okay. Excellent. I don't know. What do you have? How much music did you guys come up with for this record? Are there leftovers? Are you still working on stuff? Or are you kind of like we write 10 songs?
There are leftovers, yeah. But still, and also we came up to speed kind of in the songwriting process. So we really got it going, and we couldn't really stop it. So after the album has been, recorded and mixed and it's mastered and it's done, we're still writing songs. So that's always a good thing. You can never have too many songs.
Of course, Majeure, the new album by H.E.A.T, is available August 5th wherever you get your music. For more information, check out their website, heatsweden.com. They're also on Twitter and Facebook, where they are at H.E.A.T Sweden.
You can check us out on all the various socials. Be sure to visit our website at rockandrollgradschool.com, and don't forget to leave us a review.
Today's show is produced by myself and H.E.A.T Headquist. Our reluctant producers are John Survey and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thank you, good night, and may all your favorite bands stay together.
Nationwide, no surrender.